Eating healthy, normal foods is not dieting. Hey, everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. This is one of these things that is truly fascinating to behold. And I think this is true for anyone kind of in the fitness or health circles, those of us who generally sustain ourselves on normal, healthy, whole foods 6-7 days a week, day in, day out. It's our normal. All right, to us, it's just normal. And I think around the world, historically, obviously, that's been normal too, right? When junk food is not introduced all the time to society, that's called just eating, right? It's just called food. But for some reason, and it's such a strange cultural norm, especially like in the US at this point, to where if people see you actually just eating normal foods, right? Chicken, rice, vegetables, fruit, things that are just normal whole foods that are part of any just normal healthy diet. They're like, are you dieting? Are you trying to lose weight? And it's ironic because a lot of times this is how those of us eat when we want to lean, bulk up, and gain lean muscle and slowly gain weight. Chicken, rice, vegetables. Right? These are our norm. But I think this speaks volumes about our society itself. When people wonder why we have such an obesity crisis, why we have a cancer, a heart disease, a diabetes crisis, all these things. And when I say the diabetes, I'm talking about type 2. I'm not picking on the type 1s out there who are born with it. Totally different. Talking about the lifestyle induced. It's a sad state of affairs when we're at a point where that's the case, because that is why we have these issues. When people literally cannot differentiate between just eating normal versus, oh, this person must be dieting. It's like, no, it's called just trying to be healthy. Okay, it's just normal, healthy eating. Okay, and we need to be clear on that. And I think part of the problem too, I think this is one of the worst movements previously up until the carnivore thing, is the whole, if it fits your Macos Extremists, who are like, oh, we have to have these foods to be healthy or to be happy, right? They're like, if you don't work in 20% junk food into your diet, you can't have a fulfilling life. It's like, wow. Again, this sort of mindset is why we have these problems. There's nothing wrong or untasty or unfulfilling about normal foods, okay? And if you're used to it, it tastes good. And I wish I had a solution for this other than to tell people, just quit doing this to yourselves, okay? But they won't. And I know people like that. They won't. They refuse to just eat normal foods. And because they won't reset their taste buds, they won't do the stuff to get to that point. So they stay desensitized, right? Their taste buds are desensitized all the time. So their food cravings are an issue. And people don't realize that either, that because they eat so much junk and so much hyperpalatable stuff, that it has absolutely desensitized their taste buds to where normally foods that would taste good to us, that we would enjoy, they're like, it's bland, it's boring. But you've done this to yourself, and it doesn't have to be that way. If you just stop eating all the ultra-processed stuff for a while, your taste buds will eventually regain their sensitivity, and it'll taste good again. But that's another point itself. Though. And I think this is a message fitness people have to do a little bit better of a job of pushing out and letting their followers know and other people, because people are going to approach you. Anytime you're doing this and you're trying to eat healthy, you're going to get people who aren't going to understand. They're literally going to think, are you trying to lose weight? I don't understand. Like, even if I used to eat oatmeal and yogurt or whatever and some chicken breasts and stuff in a break room at a job I had decades ago, right? And one of the guys who was in there is like, how can you eat oats like that? You don't add some butter and some sugar? I'm like, no, man, I'm just eating my oats. Why do I need that? And he just simply could not get his head around the fact that I could have just oats. And maybe throw a few berries or something in, a little bit of fruit, have some chicken with it on the side, some yogurt. He just couldn't get his head around it. And this was over 20 years ago. This was over 20 years ago. Because that was his norm, that was his worldview, and now it's even more so. Okay. And it's we're also at the point too where we have the whole bougie fitness thing, and everyone then thinks then that also to eat healthy we have to buy all these strange organic concoctions, and what's really weird, half of the stuff that people think of as their health food is really just processed junk too. Like, just because it's got some extra vitamins or something, it doesn't mean it's not just processed stuff. Again, whole foods. Like that's normal. That's normal. It's not dieting always, it's not weight loss, it's simply eating the way that we should. And other societies, haven't developed to that point. That's why when you see certain other cultures, it's like, some lean meat, some rice, some vegetables, whatever, some extra sauces on it is their norm. And they all are aware that this is just normal, healthy eating. But then unfortunately, those societies get introduced to all this other refined junk too. And then their health deteriorates. And we see more and more of that. I mean, that's a perfect example we're seeing in a lot of Asian countries now, to where historically a lot of their diets are pretty good, right? But all the other stuff gets introduced, and it's the same thing. Oh man, all this refined sugar tastes good, let's add it to everything. All these oils taste good, let's add it to everything. And the people who have the access, the butter tastes good, let's add it to everything. And then everything is fried foods, refined fats, refined sugars, all the hyper palatable calorie dense stuff that makes us sick. Okay. That's not food. And that's the point we need to make with all of this. That is literally not food. It's just highly refined stuff that we have made out of things that were at one time foods. Where we've stripped all the nutritional value and all this. It's really not food anymore. It might be energy, it might be calories, but it's really not food. And in some cases, it's not even that. It's just literally stuff that's not found anywhere. We've refined it to the point where it's not even that. Or we just create it. Some of these amalgamations. But that's kind of my point on the social comment. This is really a social commentary video. And again, it's to remind people, eating healthy doesn't mean you're dieting. And we as a society, it's scary that we've lost sight of that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.